There has never been an experiment like this before.
So here we go with headscarves into the city.
3 Germans on a journey to the Islamic world. They become Muslims for a while.
I could not find out where Mecca is.
It's difficult. It requires a lot of discipline.
It is not easy for me to get up just to pray.
They want to find out what Islam truly is.
Why does God discriminate against women?
People who commit violence, do they misunderstand the Quran or do they understand it differently?
An experiment between 2 worlds.
Quite honestly, super exciting.
Yes, I was thinking in stereotypes again.
7 days of Islam, the experiment.
لا إله إلا الله محمد.
Islam is the second largest religion in the world. In Germany alone, there are almost 5 million Muslims, and yet people hardly know anything about Islam. So we had an idea. What would happen if we let 3 non-Muslims live a week of their lives according to Islam? Such an experiment is of course a big challenge. We ask ourselves, for example, what kind of Islam should the participants live according to, or where would we find the people who would take part in it? So we decided to limit the experiment to the things that are the same for all Muslims. We got many comments on this idea. Okay, good idea. What do you offer? What's the salary? How many women? Where would we live? By the sea or in the desert? Can I stand at the corner and sell drugs? Are you trying to Islamize people? But there was also other feedback. In the end, we decided on these 3.
This is Masha, 24 years old and a teacher from Frankfurt. She describes herself as a devout Christian. She says her life only gets meaning through faith. Salome, 28 years old and a social worker from Cologne. Spirituality is very important to her. She wants to experience life to the fullest. David is 21, works in the IT industry and comes from Hanau. He believes in God and lives his life as a Christian. These are the 3 participants who are going to spend a week of their lives according to Islam. A challenge they are all looking forward to.
Why am I taking part? Islam is particularly interesting because it has been portrayed so negatively in recent times.
My expectations of the experiment are that I can experience for myself what it means to practice Islam.
I am looking forward to the challenge and that my questions will be answered. For example, about the position of women.
How did everyone react when they found out that you were taking part in an Islam experiment?
I also see this in my family, so this Islamophobia is more widespread than you might think.
According to statistics, every second person in Germany is afraid of Islam. Also, because people hardly know anything about the religion.
What do I know about Islam?
Headscarf, Mecca, praying.
We know about the Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr and Ramadan.
We all believe in the same God, but in Islam he's called Allah. I think that is the name.
Dark hair, don't drink alcohol. So actually, I don't know that much yet.
And that's exactly what will change in the next few days, because from now on, it's going to get serious.
Now the experiment starts. You spend the next 7 days of your life according to Islam. Specifically, you have 2 tasks. Find out what it's like to live as a Muslim and what Islam is all about. The next 7 days of your everyday life will be completely different. And I can tell you now, it won't always be easy. We will start straight away. Let's go to a mosque. I have prepared a lot for you. There's a crash course for you. Here we go.
لا إله إلا الله.
They have no idea what is going to happen to them in these 7 days. After these 7 days, they will return to their normal lives. The first stop on their journey is the mosque, where they are welcomed by an imam. The Islamic scholar will accompany the experiment. The first encounter with Islam, a crash course, and it's short, 30 minutes for the basics of a world religion. That will have to suffice for now. And of course, the Islamic prayer with the special movements. Not so easy. The Imam shows them how to do it. What they have more time for is this round of questions about Islam, which the Imam has to answer, and the three of them address things openly and directly.
Why are all prophets men?
People who commit violence, do they misunderstand the Quran or do they understand it differently?
Why does God discriminate against women?
Interesting questions. In the next few days, they will find out for themselves what lies behind these issues. For now, however, the three of them will be properly equipped for the experiment.
I have brought some things for you. You will need them in the next few days.
This is their equipment: headscarf and cap, prayer rug, a Quran, and the biography of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. They can familiarize themselves with this handbook. Inside they find the prayer times and a code of conduct.
The experiment is structured like this. The three of them get a special Islamic task every day as a challenge. They explore things that are important in Islam, and the exciting part is that they often don't even know what they have to do on the respective day. Furthermore, they organize their day the way Muslims do. That means, for example, they have to pray 5 times a day, every day. Believing Muslims do that, and the first prayer is about to start.
For the next few days, the three of them will keep a video diary and record their impressions.
I'm reporting from the first day of the experiment and I have my first evening prayer. I found out where Mecca is and it is in this direction.
Assalamu alaikum. I took my scarf, but I could not find out where Mecca is. So I pray in any direction.
Ich habe versucht, mir irgendeine App runterzuladen, habe ich jetzt nicht rausgekriegt. Also ich bete jetzt einfach in...
So now it's time for my spirituality.
Und jetzt geht's mal um mich und meine Spiritualität.
Praying is essential in Islam. The whole day is covered from prayers. And the prayer is about the love to your Creator. You reflect and pray. And the next morning is starting with a prayer.
I have just got up. It's now 6:39. So actually I'm a morning person, but...
39. So. Ich bin eigentlich ein Morgenmensch, muss ich sagen. Ich weiß gar nicht. Auf geht's.
Let's go to the morning prayers.
Oh, and if you were wondering where David is,
On the subject of praying, I left my carpet, the whole bag with everything in it, in the car. Sounds like an excuse now, probably is an excuse, but it's difficult. It requires a lot of discipline. If you don't have that, then being a Muslim is not for you.
I'm just after my morning prayer, but interrupting one's sleep to pray is pushing the limit for me because sleep is sacred to me.
let's see if they gather more experiences which push their limits, for example in the next challenge.
In the experiment, the three are supposed to learn more about Islam. That means also about the things that make up Islam, and the challenge now is about something that you don't immediately associate with Islam. although it has a very high value among Muslims. It is the love for a very special person.
Hello everyone! I'm going to read you today's challenge and I'm really excited about it. Challenge for today: in Islam, every day is Mother's Day. The Holy Prophet Muhammad said, "Paradise is under the feet of the mother." Your task? Make your mother happy today. How you do it is up to your creativity.
Paradise is under your mother's feet. Yes, it's true that you can never tell a mother often enough how great she is.
Because I have less time today, I just give her a call. And I know that if I tell my mom I love you and stuff, she will probably get worried and think that something had happened.
Hi, Mom. I just called you to say that I love you very much.
I'm sorry, what?
I just called you to tell you that I love you very much.
Oh, that's so sweet. It also says in the Bible that you should honor your father and mother.
You are by far the best mom in the world.
Honey, I love you too. Lots of love, David.
I have decided to write a letter to my mom. In the letter, there will also be a bar of chocolate and a card from Cologne Church. My mom writes a lot of letters herself, and I write her far too few letters, so I'm sure she will be pleased.
Ich schreibe ihr viel zu wenig Briefe und von dem her wird sie sich sicher freuen.
Ja, Mama, und ich wollte noch was sagen bei der Reportage.
Yes, Mom. And I wanted to say something else. In the experiment, they always give us a daily challenge. In this Islam experiment, yes, and today is the challenge in Islam. Every day is Mother's Day. Because the mother has to be honored. Because paradise lies under the mother's feet. Yes. And that's why I wanted to say that I love you very much and I always think of you.
Schade, dass ich keine Muslima bin.
Ja, gell?
Also wir haben ja nur einen Muttertag und so, aber wenn bei denen jeder Tag Muttertag ist, das ist ja super.
Their mothers are obviously happy, and so this challenge is completed.
Today they have an appointment with the Imam to talk to him about controversial topics. On the first day, the three of them already had a lot of questions, for example, about the role of women in Islam or what Islam thinks about violence.
Masha and Salome are ready for the discussion. David is working and will join us a little later.
I'm a bit late now. The prayer is about to start, but I'll hurry now.
Flashback to the first meeting. In the mosque, the three of them wanted to know from the Imam if the Quran calls for violence.
People who commit violence, do they misunderstand the Quran or do they understand it differently?
There's no basis for it. The Quran says that whoever kills a human, it is like he killed the whole of mankind.
It is difficult when everyone claims to understand the Quran best.
That's why we have the Prophet as an example, which means that today everyone can't claim that my interpretation or the way I'm interpreting it now is correct, but rather that we are following the practice of the Prophet.
Honestly, it was clear from the start that these verses are being addressed, because how crazy do you have to be if you really believe anyone who will read the whole Quran will never understand them as some critics or terrorists do?
This is why today they are looking into the Holy Quran with the Imam, so they will understand how certain verses that talk about violence are to be understood.
The very well-known verses that are often mentioned and kill them wherever you came across them, so you have to know the historical context. You can read the whole Quran, not even one single passage, not even one single event, you will find where, from the spread of Islam or because of the disbeliefs of others, human being the Prophet ever raised a sword and said, "We want to spread Islam now." It was exclusively defensive wars, wherever it is clearly said, "You are being attacked now, you have to defend yourselves."
On the first day, the role of women in Islam was also discussed, and Marsha and Salome were particularly interested in one question: why are there no female imams in Islam, which they see as a clear disadvantage?
Why does God discriminate against women?
Discriminate? In no case. How could this be possible? God created man and woman. The Quran even says that we created man and woman from a single being.
Wasn't woman formed from the rib of Adam?
No, that is not the Islamic concept.
This is how the conversation went on the first day, and today there was controversy again.
But it doesn't say in the Quran that the woman can't become an imam, does it?
I think what they always have in mind is that the imam is some worldly position, which is denied to women. The important part in Islam is spiritually, in which both are completely equal and given the same opportunities.
Almost every opportunity. One is excluded, namely to stand in front of the man. So there are almost all possibilities, but we can leave it like that.
It's true that being an imam is only possible for women among women, but anyone who knows Islam knows that being an imam alone is not a special status or privilege for Muslims anyway. According to the Quran, a true privilege for Muslims are the spiritual ranks, and here man and woman have exactly the same opportunities.
The topic is far from over for the two of them, but now the azan is announcing the time for prayer, and our participants also join the prayer. Later in the evening, they reflect on the conversation with the imam.
Today we were again in the mosque, and I had a very long talk with the imam. I still have a problem a bit with the position of women, and not only in Islam, generally in religion. So also in the Catholic Church, I have a big problem with it. In Islam, it is even better than in the Catholic Church in any case.
So, as I understand it, the Quran doesn't deny that women can be imams. That's not the problem. I think it's more the community, the male members. Men, but also women. We will talk about it tomorrow with the women, how they feel about it.
Wir werden da auch morgen noch mal drüber mit den Frauen reden, wie sie das empfinden.
On the other hand, we have also talked about violence, for example, and I have to say that such a context definitely made sense. I also think that Islam is not a violent religion in any case, that it is a very peaceful, loving religion. It is just often misunderstood and taken out of context.
Right now it's almost 8 o'clock and I'm trying the positions today. Let's see how it works.
Now, during the experiment, their Friday evening looks like this, completely different from what they are actually used to.
One more thing I wanted to mention today. I really wanted a beer, but I want to live, of course, halal this week, and therefore I got what I hope is good, a good alternative, a non-alcoholic beer. It is Friday evening, so beer is a part of German habits. Wait, what is even German? Actually, it's just my habit. That was it then really from me today, and see you tomorrow.
The next day is especially exciting for Marsha and Salome. It's about the role of women in Islam, a topic that has been on their minds since day one. Today they will meet Muslims and try out the headscarf. It will be a day that will leave its mark on them, even if it starts off a little bumpy.
Dear Masha has slept through the morning prayers. I missed it.
Es ist kurz vor 7.
It is shortly before 7 and it is not easy for me to get up just to pray, but I do it anyway.
Getting up so early to pray isn't going so well, but now we're off to an exciting day. Masha and Salome are about to learn about their task for the day.
Today is our headscarf day. You get 2 tasks again. You find out why a Muslim woman actually wears a headscarf and how it feels to walk in public with a headscarf.
We try that out today.
We have Muslim women waiting for you at the mosque.
Great, this is my favorite day, so the headscarf day. Today I will learn a lot about the role of women in Islam, which is my favorite topic.
Will their questions be answered?
I'll leave the platform to you and you can start right away.
Here in the mosque, Sadia and Ramiza are waiting. Both Muslim women with headscarves are ready for the exchange. They want to help the 2 women with their questions, and they're about to start.
What does the headscarf mean to you?
For me, the headscarf is a part of religion, a commandment of the Quran.
And covering mainly to hide your charms and beauty? Aren't the men accused of not being in control of their thoughts, and shouldn't they work on keeping their needs and the thoughts they have in check, really keeping them under control?
Bedürfnissen und ihre Gedanken im Zaum zu halten, also wirklich sie unter Kontrolle zu haben. Ja, also im Koran zum Beispiel.
Yes, in the Quran, the man is first told that he should lower his gaze to the ground and not look at any women.
But why? If man could have his thoughts under control, then he would not have to avoid looking at women.
How does the reality look like? How far have we come in this respect? There are many good men who keep themselves in check, but there are people who can do extreme damage by not keeping themselves in check. Then I think, what can I do? I have the freedom to say that I won't show myself like that in public. I mean, it's different if we are among women, but I simply have no desire that someone exploits an opportunity at my expense. I'm not talking about the really bad things, but just being verbally harassed is something that many women have experienced.
And they also talk to the 2 Muslim women about the topic they are particularly interested in. Why are there no female imams?
Don't you think the lack of female imams has something to do with how women are perceived?
We hardly have any events with the men, except for the Friday prayers. We have our own events, our own seminars, our own workshops. I already have the feeling that I am being represented, and I always had someone in a leadership role with whom I could discuss things. So I think it's actually also this more practical thing. It's not that the women can't achieve the status of an imam. Before God, I can have the status of a prophet. Spiritually, I can achieve what prophets achieve. I don't think the profession of an imam is particularly necessary for this.
That was the exchange with the Muslim women. Now they are becoming Muslimas themselves, at least outwardly.
How do you put a headscarf on?
With a new dress code, we can get right into the next adventure.
So here we go with headscarves into the city. I am curious.
Masha and Salome go to Frankfurt city center for their self-experiment. They want to experience what it feels like to wear a headscarf. To do so, they put themselves in classic everyday situations. They take the train or stroll through the city. Just normal things, only with the headscarf on.
Entschuldigung, wo geht's hier zum Main?
They spend a whole afternoon like this in the city. When it starts to get dark, we meet them again and find out how it felt for them to wear the headscarf.
I felt different. I'm no longer just a normal human being, rather I now also present my belief to the outside world.
What kind of feeling was it?
I felt proud.
Super exciting. So I thought the discussion with the two girls was really great. So I couldn't have imagined it any better. Quite honestly, even though we might have different ideas about how to shape our lives, and also the conversation about the female imams, I now understand even more that this doesn't somehow reduce the status of a woman in any way.
This day has also influenced the two women because they can now better put themselves in the shoes of Muslimas. But Masha is not yet completely convinced by the headscarf.
So I wanted to say something else about the day today, namely that during the meal today I felt a bit of sense of injustice because the man didn't have a headscarf on and you could clearly see their hair and everything. I've never seen a man wearing a headscarf before, and I think that's unfair, and I'm still a bit broken up about it. It's just a bit unpleasant for me. I should mention that.
This is how this long day ends. Salome goes home by train with her headscarf on. The two ladies also wear their headscarves to pray at night.
The next day, and with it the next challenge. All three of them do not know what awaits them today. They will in fact think of their fellow human beings today, especially those who need their help. That is one of the cornerstones of Islam, to be there for other people. And how the three carry out their task is up to their creativity.
Hello everyone, we just got the message about what we are doing today. Let's see what it is. The challenge for today: you will socially engage yourself and do not forget to do good to each other. That's what it says in the Quran. Your only motivation is love for people, regardless of skin color, origin, religion, or social status. Exciting task. I'll think of something.
And what Salome had thought about, I want to find out for myself. For this, I have an appointment with her in Cologne. To my surprise, Salome is wearing a headscarf again, but more about that later. What are you going to do?
I baked some delicious apple pie and would like to distribute it to people who are currently living on the streets.
I would say waste no time and let's get started.
Like Salome, Masha and David are also caring for others. Masha, for example, thinks of the needy when she goes shopping and takes part in a food drive for the food bank.
So, dear ones, this is where it will be delivered over to the food bank. There is my bag in front.
We're just at the Frankfurt Center. I've already done my first good deed. There's a nice man sitting back there drawing portraits. But for 50 cents, I gave him a little more. I mean, it's not that similar to me, but I still gave him 5 euros. I'm definitely going to hang this up somewhere. I thought maybe he's hungry too. And that's why I got him a kebab. There's your kebab. I keep my word. That's right.
Today I was baking a cake. Would you like to have a piece of cake? Yeah?
You're doing that today with the headscarf. Is there a particular reason?
Yes, I wanted to try out in another city. We're in Cologne now, so I haven't really noticed anything negative yet, but rather I actually have the feeling that I'm being treated a bit more respectfully, but that's really just a feeling.
behandelt werde. Aber das ist wirklich nur einfach nur ein Gefühl.
We have already been able to help some people. Do you usually help people?
I do. Mostly I give people food, and especially when I earn money, then I always like to give some of it away.
Did you know that this is actually an Islamic commandment? Practicing Muslims do that too.
Okay, me too.
That's how they roam the streets, helping people in need.
Da ist dann die Kälte halt auch echt nicht gut.
عين الهدى مفني
The last challenge in the experiment, and it's a tough one. Like Muslims in Ramadan, the three of them will fast for a whole day. That means no food and no drink for 12 hours. Muslims do this to develop spiritually. The three of them will try it right away. They won't forget this day so quickly, also because it's full of surprises.
رمضان يا خير الشهور يا فضل رحمن غفور فيك البشر.
Hello, dear ones. I'm still a bit sleepy. I've been awake since 5 o'clock. It's now 5:56. I'm allowed to eat and drink until 6:20. I assume that I won't have any big problems with eating and drinking. Rather, the hard part will be not smoking.
Morgen.
I have to hurry to get to morning prayer, and then I would drink quite a bit, and then I would lie down in bed again. So getting up to pray, I still don't like that much.
Now it's time for the morning prayer. This is the beginning of the fasting period, which actually means that from now on you're not allowed to eat or drink anything. No, really, nothing at all.
Do you think I can still drink a little? It's still dark, isn't it? Oh God. Oh God, it's still recording. Hello, dear ones. It's 8:30 now. I didn't go back to sleep. I have to confess, as you can see in the video, if they cut it in, I drank some water at 6:30 because I had such a dry throat, and I did that. I didn't think that was so bad, to be honest.
Now the three of them have a lot of time which they can use for their spirituality. When half of the day is over, hunger slowly makes itself felt.
Hello everybody! I was just praying in the Noor Mosque. The facility caretaker is totally sweet. He gave me a crunchy bar, but it was also a little mean as I was fasting. When I told him I was fasting, he said, for later, so I'll save it for later.
It's 2:30 p.m. I haven't eaten or drink anything. I'm already quite proud of myself. If it remains like this, I think I can do well.
I have, of course, eaten this morning. I wouldn't say I ate a lot, but I've eaten 2 pieces of pizza. And I've also drunk a lot, and I noticed that.
I'll take a picture of the food today. You appreciate it differently. Otherwise, you just eat in between watching TV and stuff. Simple somehow, but when I think of food now, it's really so...
But for now, they still have to be patient.
For breaking the fast together in the evening, we have thought of something very special. We are visiting a Muslim family, but the three of them don't know exactly where we are going, and that's going to be a big surprise.
يا فضل رحمن غفور فيك البشائر غيثها يهدي السعادة والسرور رمضان يا خير الشهور يا فضل رحمن غفور فيك البشائر.
This they didn't expect. The Herta family lives on this idyllic farm, a German family that converted to Islam years ago. How exactly? They will find out later. Masha seizes the opportunity and expresses a wish.
I was thinking, could we perhaps pray the evening prayer together?
But there's still a lot of time before then, and it's easy to pass the time here on the farm by feeding rabbits and patting horses. It's all part of Islam, because loving animals is also an important commandment. They too are a part of the creation of Allah.
فيك البشائر غيثها يهدي السعادة والسرور أدرك مجيئك نعمة يحيي التراحم والشوق اقبل إلهي صومنا.
Finally, the time has come. After 12 hours of abstinence, they are allowed to eat and drink again. Traditionally, they start with a date.
That feels really good.
That obviously felt good. After such a long time, finally something to eat and drink again.
It was an overnight thing for me. It was all before 9/11. I saw that the world was suddenly talking about Islam, but no one was talking about the Islam that I found in the Holy Quran.
After breaking the fast, they offer the evening prayers together.
I'm full. We ate a samosa at the beginning, and after that I was actually full.
I also had this date that tasted so good. It was incredible. So it was really worth fasting just for that one bite.
You didn't know where we're going, which family it would be. Is that how you imagine it?
No, I imagined that we would come to a deeply traditional Pakistani Islamic family and eat on the floor. However, something completely different was awaiting us.
I'm totally surprised. So we now came here and met the German family that has converted to Islam.
Yes, I was thinking in stereotypes again, and I'm so glad that I could pick up on that here now.
This day slowly also comes to an end. 12 hours the three of them have done without food. They met new people and were surprised. A day full of emotion that has left its mark on them. As it is time to say goodbye outside in the dark, it suddenly becomes really quiet. They conclude their visit with a silent prayer together, and with that, they have also completed their last challenge.
Soon, it will be time to say goodbye to this unique journey into an unknown world. Now, so close to the end, the three of them are starting to think about the time after the experiment and are finding pleasure in things they didn't like before.
I just completed the prayer, and I have to say and admit it's good. Even if you don't really feel like it or you're already dead tired, it's still good to just calm down and do these movement sequences.
Diese Bewegungsabfolge zu tun.
Yes, and I wanted to say something else. I have had two big insights so far that have been very helpful for my life. It has become a habit for me to drink alcohol. I'm not going to stop drinking alcohol altogether now, I think, but I'm definitely going to try to reduce that. And why I would struggle to convert, for example, there are things in Islam that I like. There are also things that I don't understand or that I don't like. My grandparents would have a big problem with it. My family wouldn't understand it in general. And in the mosque, I would somehow stand out, I think.
But now the time has come. After 7 days, the experiment ends. Their Muslim life is coming to an end. We have arranged to meet all three of them individually. We want to know what the 7 days were like for them. What do they think about Islam now? Has their image of Islam changed?
I have seen Islam as a religion with many rules, so rather negatively. I have to say, I always thought you had no fun at all in life. I couldn't do anything anymore, but now I can really understand how you can really get absorbed in religion and what it can give you back.
I can understand some things better, which I am very happy about, but some I would still do differently.
You have to live with love every day. Show love for your fellow human beings.
For me, I think I still couldn't imagine, but now I can definitely understand it much more.
For example, the clothing of a Muslima, which I actually also find to be a nice idea. Nevertheless, it is a bit off-putting to me in the sense that I think, yes, the men are totally incapacitated.
I can only advise everyone to get to know Muslims. Try to deal with it a little bit. If you are somehow afraid of something, if you deal with it a little bit, it will all go away very quickly.
So Islam can, as we got to know it this week, enrich Germany in any case.
No religion says you should kill. No religion says women are worthless.
Islam is peace, is love, is faith, and we all believe in the same God.
For the three participants, this was an unforgettable adventure. They entered uncharted territory and wanted to find out for themselves what lies behind a religion that is talked about so much. Now they have their own opinion about Islam.
A last meeting in front of the mosque. Time to say goodbye.
I have to say, I think it's really brave of you, especially in these times, to make this decision and say, hey, I want to deal with this religion, despite the perception in public. I end with Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you.
Wa alaikum assalam, and love for all and hate for none.